All right, this is gonna be a different show than normal because normally we do this live, we live stream, we take questions, all that kind of stuff. Well, this will be coming out on Thursday, the 23rd, which is a big day for us. And so Felix is here from the foundation to talk about what's happening on the 23rd. And Dom is here to talk about something really cool he's been building. Believins from the community, talk about what he's building. And then we have a special guest on a little bit later. But we're not doing this live because most of us are going to be traveling tomorrow to Ape Fest and all that kind of stuff. But we wanted to make sure to get this update out because there's so much going on. And we want to make sure everybody's in the loop, especially with the 23rd coming up. And so why don't we, Mike, do you want to go first with Believins, or do you want to or should we jump into everything with Felix? What would you like to do?
Sounds like Felix is first. Let's do it.
All right, Felix. So Felix is here representing the foundation. Obviously we have a lot going on on the 23rd and a couple key dates coming up. We have the 23rd and we have November 1st. So can you kind of give the high level of like what's happening on the 23rd and what should people be think? Why is the next significant date in the ecosystem?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the Discord yesterday, an announcement went out giving some specifics, but the 23rd is our 3-month milestone from TGE. And so one of the initiatives that we had was a full stake reward, as well as some bonus tokens for those that minted an agent bundle. So 10% of the holders are going to get a 10,000 Think bonus. And the full stake reward is basically all of the rewards that have been issued to date, that same quantity for the first 3 months is going to get bundled up and issued to those that staked their full claim for the full 3 months, as a reward for those that locked it in and believed in us and the process, the vision. So the 23rd, two things are going to happen in particular. The regular staking issuances are going to get distributed as they have on the 23rd of last month and the month prior to that. And we're going to be doing a snapshot at 5 p.m. PST. So that's for the full stake eligibility. So if you've staked your tokens in that first 14 days, we'll be doing a snapshot. We're going to take a couple of days in the weekend to sift through all that data because there's a fixed amount of tokens that we're distributing. So we need to make sure that math all checks out. And then the reward distribution will happen on October the 27th. You'll be able to claim them as you have been able to claim your staking rewards in the past. So you'll be able to claim them through the dashboard. And that will be the full stake rewards that you'll be able to claim and the 10,000 Think bonus for those that were eligible with their Think agent bundles. That's the 23rd. So there's some tokens to be claimed on the 23rd. There's a snapshot taking place. And then on the 27th, there'll be more tokens to claim. November 1st is important for, again, 2 reasons. One is the Asto conversion snapshot. So we just had a proposal that went out to the community last week. We issued it for discussion. There was some good discussion. We tweaked a couple of things based on the feedback. We then put it up for a vote, and it went through very convincingly. So we're going to be doing a snapshot for all the people that converted their Asto tokens in the first 30 days. That snapshot is going to happen at 5 p.m. PST on November 1st. And then the distribution, again, will go through the dashboard, same as all distributions historically, will happen on November 4th. So we take that 72 hours to, again, go through the data, back check it, verify it, and then essentially upload it and make it claimable. So that will happen on November 4th. You'll be able to claim. We will release later this week all the wallets that are eligible. So you can look through it and make sure that your wallet's eligible. And if for whatever reason you think you're eligible and you're not on the list, we can go through and troubleshoot that. But I want people to realize whether they're eligible prior or not, because there's some people that are going to kind of gamify the system, so to speak, or work it to their advantage. And we've set that up so it's intentional and everyone has an opportunity to participate in that claim. The next big thing, and this is the big thing kind of moving forwards for November 1st, is AppCoin. So looking to get the first sort of distributions rolling out on November 1st. We've been having these milestones of the 23rd, which is kind of an odd time to do it. And that's just because we timed it with TG, which just happened to be on the 23rd of the month. So we're kind of resetting the clock to the 1st of every month. And so that's going to start rolling out November 1st. That's the intention here. And to be eligible for that, there'll be more information that comes out probably the end of this week. I think in a couple of days we can kind of get out. We've kind of dialed it in, and all the engineering's confirmed it now. So we've got a meeting with them on Friday, and assuming there's no hiccups, I think we can confidently communicate some of the specifics. But essentially, if you are staking Think tokens, you will receive coins as an off-chain reward system that can be used in the pre-sale and participation of incubator projects, TGs. And then if you are holding Think Agent bundles, you will get multipliers. And I know a lot of people are very interested in what those multipliers will be. There's been lots of good, robust conversation around it. And I'm looking to confirm exactly what that is on Friday. So everyone will have it well in advance, but it's a bit of a shift in the system. But I will qualify there's going to be an overlap. So we still will have 3 more months of Think token distributions going out, which is a double up with the app coin as we kind of migrate over to that system. And it will start all off chain. But it's set up with the rails that it could go on chain if the community chooses to do that in the future.
It's a new era. A new era starts next week, huh?
Yeah, and
it's
one
going
of
to
the
be
cool things
busy
too
2
is
weeks.
yeah, it's a busy 2 weeks, especially because with app token, like what that really comes down to is like, well, how good are the companies we're incubating, right? And so what I'm excited about is any minute now, Von Doom's going to be joining us to talk about what Win is, right? And the goal of Win and kind of some of the traction around Win. I'm super excited about Win. I think it's going to be a barn burner, but we'll let him kind of dig into that. But before we get to that, Mike, you've been working with Believe-ins on some stuff kind of behind the scenes. How would you want to set this up?
Yeah, so we've had some amazing things just take place, and last week we had an install fest where we kind of took like the core, like the geeky core of the Think mind, right? Like what David's been building, that RCRT system where you can see all the memories swirling around, like that's some deep multi-agent orchestration stuff that usually only the biggest companies in the world, like the Claudes and the OpenAIs, have. That's been made available on the desktop. But what happened last week is Dom installed that and saw that and was like, hey, like, because we have the Think Agent system is componentized, he doesn't even have to ask for David's permission. And he went forward, and over the last week, he and I have been working together, and he's built something badass, right? Like he's built a front end or a body, right? Like in the Think Agent standard, you've got mind, soul, and body. So the mind exists, the soul is your NFT, and the body is your user interface. And so Dom has created something that's awesome here. Dom, you want to pull up your screen and share it? And it's great to have you, by the way. I love having you be a builder in the community, and you're just really like leading the way and showing other people what's possible. And I just really appreciate you being here, man. And you're on mute.
Thanks. Thanks for the invitation, and also like the sparring and the support. Really appreciate that. And yeah, it's been an exciting past week, I would say. Like seeing what David is working on, and then like what brought me now then like to build like what I will show in a few seconds is it looks very powerful, but it's not yet like that you can just send it out to anyone, right? You cannot just send it out to an end user who can use it. So I thought, okay, can we build something that comes where we can already like onboard people like next week, or 1st of November, or whatever, when we want to launch it, but make it like a super quick launch, and with something that is already usable, and over time we can integrate what David's building and make this even more powerful, right? So we start with features that are as simple as possible. It's already something people want to use, I hope. We'll see. Let's see what the community says. But move from there and expand it over time.
Heck yeah, let's see it.
Let's pull this up.
So what we're looking at here is an extension in Chrome that can work in your current Chrome, or it can work in the upcoming ThinkOS Chromium edition that sets up, and go for it, man.
Exactly. So what I have here now is I'm just went on VentureBreed. As everyone knows, it's more ads than actual content, but maybe there's interesting content there, right? So what I can do now, I have this new extension installed that I built within the last week, and I already added my API key of Venice. I will show this in a moment. But what is possible now, I can add this page to the context here. So I just click Add Page to Context, and now this chat is aware of the page content. So I can now say, what is this article about in one sentence? And it immediately responds with what this page is about. So that's
awesome.
Already something.
And this is happening with Venice, so you're not being like surveyed, right? And this is going to be happening in a way that you, in essence, you could use Chromium, so that you're not actually being served any not Chromium. What's it called, Mike? Where there's no ads, it's all been ripped out.
Well, it's a version of Chromium where the ads have all been ripped out,
but there's a name for it, right?
Well, Helium
Helium.
Computer is the open source repo that we're building off of.
Yep. So in essence, he can now use all the best of Chrome, plus decentralized, non-nerfed AI with one click.
And that from any Chrome browser. So when you look at all the AI browsers launching, of course they come with like their own features, but they also ask for lots of permissions.
Yep.
And here,
lots. Especially Atlas. Have you guys dug into Atlas yet? It's
it's like
pretty scary.
Share your personal keychain is what they want you to do, which is like basically directory level access to everything that the super user can have.
That's right.
Yeah, and that with accordingly the companies, which are let's say let's try to make it secure, private, and maybe even better than the others. But this is like like you can install this in any Chromium based browser. So as soon as it's in the Chrome App Store extension store. You can also install it in Brave if Brave is your choice. You can go for Chrome. You can, because it is based on Chromium, and you have decentralized AI available at like one click, right?
It's amazing because you're using Venice, and I think Zach is using Olama, so he's even running Olama locally and using this.
Yeah. So what I like in the future, I already made a, let's say, proof of concept where this extension talks with a native application, and that's then connecting with Olama. So exactly what you just said. So that means it is even not connecting to Venice, but instead going through your local machine. So this extension just pulls in the context of the page. You chat with it, but it's actually going through the extension to the native application, and the native application talks to Olama. So you can choose any model that you have installed through
huge.
Olama.
Okay, will you just summarize what Dom said? Because he was using a lot of more kind of, I guess, technical language. Mike, will you just say, because I want to make sure people really understand what's happening here.
Yeah, so all the biggest companies in the world are spending, like literally Atlassian, I think just spent $600 million to buy a tool that is similar in scope to what Dom's showing here, except it does not deal with privacy, right? So what Dom's got here now is a browser that has your agent on it, and your agent starts to be able to collect memories over time. And so, like, if you ever were a user of like Pocket or one of these tools where like,
I actually used to love Pocket. Yeah,
I loved it too. He's basically building a version where as you're going around the internet, you can start saving the things that are important. and it organizes it for you. So Dom, maybe to show people the power, maybe
private.
You can save it.
And that's the main thing I want people to get to is like the way that Dominic was explaining, and this is all happening behind the scenes. So it's not seeing what you're looking at, any of that kind of stuff. This is all happening either through Venice, or it literally could be happening right now locally, and you could have the power of AI in your browser without giving up all of your privacy. And Dominic, you're talking about like literally getting this to people in the next like week.
Yeah, I mean, like it's. I think it's at a status which can be published. Yeah.
And what
we're
I'm
looking
really
at the 3rd of November
like,
is where we're looking.
Okay.
We're looking to do
3rd of November,
November.
Get this in people's hands. And what I'm excited about is like this is kind of day one, right? Well, what happens, Mike, when you have wallet login and now I can log in with my NFI? Like now, so it's like we want to get the MVP out, like you said, in early November, right? But walk me through, like in your mind, what are you guys thinking? What happens when you start adding in these other things over time?
Well, I think we can just show you because we've only showed you the tip of the iceberg so far.
Oh, great. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's
Dominic,
just.
Do you want to save the note and show them the library?
Yeah. So what you can do already, and this is all like working within this extension that you can install. It's storing the nodes within the storage of this extension. So it will be like, let's say, safer once we have this native application which stores the nodes locally on device, within our a local database, because this Chrome storage is limited at a certain storage capacity. But what is already possible is you can save this page we are on here to your notes, right? So what does it mean? It takes the content, it runs it through, I call it plugins, but maybe on the terminology we will see. And it saves this, and now I can view it. And now I have it here in the main note viewer, which displays all notes that I have stored in the past. Because it's a clean install, there's not many notes yet. But here we get the image, we get the title, and it automatically, because of the plugins that I currently have active, generates tags based on the content of the article. It generates an AI summary. So it summarizes everything. And down here we have the original content, right?
Much more beautiful. All the ads have been stripped out. It's really easy to read.
And
dude,
I
saw this the first time, I was like, it's like you're making memories.
Yeah. It's like, like without the ads, without the tracking, being able to store what is important, and with the plugins that I can also show here. So what I did is, first I ran the cleanup. Now it's like even nicer,
even cleaner. Yeah,
even cleaner. But what I have is, and let me go to the settings to show you what is possible.
So just think about it. So in the next 2 weeks, you're going to be able to run all of these tools on your own device. Yeah. Privately, all that kind of good stuff. So when we say like own your intelligence, like they'll be able to do that here in the next 2 weeks.
So in the settings, like here you can add the provider, add the API key. You can choose like all models that are provided by Venice, and it pulls this in automatically. So whenever they publish a new model, it's all immediately showing up here, and you can choose it. And then you have some information on the nodes. But what I built now within the last day is a plugin format. That means you can, let's see.
Yoda summary.
Yeah.
So the way that I think about plugins is like when you had an NES back in the day, you had your cartridge and you had the NES box, right? And all these plugins are basically like the cartridge. It's code that the basically agent skill can be defined as, and it can be loaded into the system. And so you'll be able to trade skills, buy and sell skills.
This is where there could be a marketplace for these skills too, as well, right? They could also run on Think and all that kinds of. I thought you were going to talk about the Game Genie, Mike, but yeah, cartridges.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I love the Game Genie.
Yeah. Let's see if it works. But it should.
What up, Bondu? Just hang in there, buddy. Dom's showing us some cool stuff. Yeah.
what we can do here, I have a plugin called Insights, and then here we can have like the prompt, and on the right side you see all variables that are available. So I want like the insights to be generated based on title and content, right? And this should appear as a tab. Okay, there's a bunch of settings, but now I have this Insights plugin. And what I also built in the background, and let's see how many of these will work, but it's a work in progress. When it's released, we'll make sure everything is working here. But what I created is a plugin that's generating a Yoda summary. One is like as if it was by Darth Vader. But also I added one which is a product owner view and an executive view. So what's happening in the executive view is write an executive summary of this article.
Can I see this working, Dom? Could you like go to an article and then use this?
Let's
All right,
see.
So Doom, what Dominic is showing right now is you can now add a plugin to Chrome and you can run AI, whether through Venice or locally, completely private on top of Chrome.
Oh shit!
Right? Yeah, and we're distributing this in the next, what do you say, November 4th? This is coming out, so you can run all this. So this is Dominic inside of Chrome, just with the Think plugin, right? And he's on the right hand side that's running through Venice, but you can also run that locally through Olama, and it's completely private, right? So this is literally like a plugin. So you can either download kind of Think OS, like the full browser, or you can just literally add a plugin over the top of your Chrome extension and run everything completely locally and privately. And we're launching this on the 4th.
That's awesome.
One of the things
yeah.
We go.
Dom, to set you up on this, one of the things that I love is at South by Southwest back in like 2011, I got to have dinner with one of the people that invented CSS. And he was talking about back when they were inventing how the internet would be built. There was a big debate on whether it should be the publisher, like the website, that decides what the style is, or whether the user should decide what the style is. And like even back then, he was like, it was a huge mistake that we let the publisher, because they just use that to clutter it, fill it with ads, that sort of thing. Yeah. And I love that we're solving this by putting the power in the user's hands and letting the difference between the VentureBeat article on their site and what Dom just showed to me is the difference between me wanting to read an article or not. Like I'm never going to read that VentureBeat article there as it is.
Crazy. And so do you know what he's doing right here, Doom? He's literally, when he goes to a website, he can clip the entire website and it creates a memory in the system. So like imagine every time whenever you see something, you clip it and now it's a memory inside of your AI's brain. And then he's showing right now is what those memories look like. So this is that website that had all the shit all over it. This is completely cleaned up so that it now has captured a memory
so it's
inside
like
its
smart
brain.
Bookmarks in a sense.
Totally. But now what you're doing is you're literally building out like almost memories inside of your AI's brain completely privately. And this is on top of just your Chrome.
Is there a way for it to show or to like...
Well, okay, here's what I like about this. Doom is like our first customer right now, being on the show right now. Like, so yeah. Go ahead. Hit us with your questions.
So is there a way where, because a lot of times people go to a web page, they click on a link, they go to a web page, it just sits in a tab. I have, 100 and something tabs open right now in one of the 3 browsers I use.
Yeah.
So is there a way to, like, if I actually sit and skim through it and read it, is there a way for it to, like, in a sense, like record the time spent, like an attention meter?
Oh, that's interesting.
You know what I mean? Because like think about all the junk that you click.
So you you're not only filtering by what it is, you're filtering by how much time you've spent on that page. Yeah. Okay, so Dom, let's take you through this.
Tab and it's open.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
Right.
So let's
and
go
I'm not in any other windows.
Let's explain what he's doing right here, because in essence, I think we could, if we wanted to, add something like that too. So he was just on that website that had all the boxes and shit on it. He pretty much said, add this note or this memory. So it looked like this.
Bullshit on this page. It's
crazy. And he opens up kind of the Think tab. Look at, he said he hit save as a note. So now will you show what those notes look like once they're saved? Because now almost think about this as a new memory inside of your AI, Doom. And see how it cleaned it all up? Yeah.
So
take
it's cleaned up, right? And I had to click around a little bit because it is still in progress. But now I made it work. Hopefully, let's see when we go through the tabs. But what I have is these so-called plugins, where let's go to the settings quickly, where I define different, let's say, take this article and rephrase it, summarize it, explain it like I'm 5 years old, like all these. And it can also be chained, so one output from one plugin could be used in the other.
So those are presets. Sorry.
Okay.
Right?
No. Okay. Think about it like this.
Presets,
Think about this
yeah.
like this, Doom. Let me pitch this. All right. So you have the base functionality of like I can now use private local AI, right? Then on top of it, I can add a memory to the ecosystem. So now I'm literally, as I'm surfing the internet, I'm making my AI smarter. Once I have that memory, I can add filters on top of that memory. Like, for instance, I could build one that says, explain this to me like I'm 5 years old. So every time I save a memory, I can also jump in and it can just summarize it like I'm 5. Or it can be like, hey, give me the crypto version of this. And it like, so in essence, so see these tabs, original insights, those are those are almost like filters, interpretations. Yeah. So now Dom at any point, he not only has the memory, but now he has versions of each memory logged the way he wants for consumption. So
and
so explain kind of what this is. Yeah.
Right.
So you could add more.
So you can make them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now you have the community that's making these and selling them to each other.
And it's JSON format, so you can just export this, send it to someone else. Like, there is no marketplace yet, right? But you could like create a plugin, export it as JSON, the other person imports it, and they can use it just,
So you could almost have a marketplace at some point.
Not almost.
That's gonna happen.
You know what I'm saying?
So now we have, like, I got all these, and it's like predefined prompts that I had. So, but yeah, you can change them in whatever way you like. So here, based on this article, which is about the Quinn's new deep research, lets you turn reports into web pages. Okay, so now we have insights, which is like the prompt generate like 3 to 5 insights from this article. We have the Eli 5, which explains it like I'm 5 years old with dinosaurs. We have a Yoda version, which takes this summary and rewrites this summary because it's using this output, because this is also a plugin, right? Uses this and rewrites this summary as it was spoken by Yoda. Then but
like, let's game this out a little bit. Because Dom's doing a lot of really fun ones here. But imagine you had one of these apps, right? That was like, what does this mean in context of my portfolio?
Yeah, right? I already have this one. Maybe that's more relevant, right?
Okay, great.
This is the product owner view. So I prompted it with, what does this article mean for product owners? You could like add your industry. You could add,
so now it knows everything about command line and how this new article on gaming specifically says, well, the way you're positioning command line, you should be aware of this new thing that Unreal Engine just put out because of this. So now it's contextualizing. Keep in mind, it's not just contextualizing, it's now a memory in the system. So Dom, if you go scroll up a little bit, one of the things he did here that I think is really cool is like, you can also right here send a chat. So imagine you had a memory you created 6 months ago and you're like, what was that article about the new Unreal Engine thing? I can send the memory back into the context window, so now it knows it's top of mind for me again.
Yeah,
right?
like, hey, remember when we were talking about X?
That's right. It'll be like, and not only to remember, I'm going to pull it back in so it's in the front of my mind, right?
Yeah.
And everything he's showing you right now is live. This is all working. So this is working private, local AI. He's building out all of his own memories, and what I'm excited about is, hey, Mike, talk about this, and then like, I know we got to get to.
Let me in here. Let me get.
Yeah. Well,
dude, we can get
I
it to you today, dude.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. So like, Mike, what happens when we add in Wallet Connect, and all of a sudden I'm connecting this to my NFI?
Yeah, so your NFI ends up working like the same way that a username and password does for being able to log into services, right? So if you have that button that says, like, if you ever logged in with Google or, one of these different systems with single sign-on, you know that, like, all I have to do is be logged into Google. Now I can access all these other tools. That NFI now allows you to be able to access the tools. So, like, yesterday, Morpheus was on the call when Dom was showing it, and the head guy from Morpheus, the Brian from Morpheus, was saying, hey, we want to provide these API keys to everybody at Think, right? And we want to provide compute for at least for the future, for the foreseeable future, right? Like we're going to provide free compute. And so they already were just having a conversation about, okay, well, what do we need to do that? And we're going ahead, and that will probably be included, if not in, on the 3rd, like shortly thereafter. And so it allows for things to grow organically. And like we designed this thing very specifically, right? Like people were like, why are you talking about these abstract things? I want to talk about like how I can make token go up fast. And it's like, well, what we actually need to do is we actually need to make sure that we tokenize these agents so that we can build this system in a way that you don't need permission. Like you don't need David's permission. You don't need him to change any code. You can build on top of it. And so that's in place right now. And so I want to share what I'm going to be building here for my workflow, just to give you an idea, right? I have a series of files that basically understand who I am, what my values are, what my mission is. It also understands what my context is right now. So what projects am I working on? What's my strategy? And what am I trying to fix in my world? So as I'm reading articles, it's comparing, like I'll build a plugin that compares my needs right now to that article. And so it reads it, pulls the pieces that are relevant to the different things I'm working on, and provides a report on all the different pages that I pulled up in the day.
Okay, let me say, okay, so one of Mike's main things he used to do was coach CEOs, right? And he had this entire process for how to coach like somebody from like 0 to 1, right? He in essence he is now coaching himself, which is kind of fucking crazy to watch because he's using the own system he's built for other CEOs, and now it's coaching him. He calls it like Coach Mike. So he's building like an AI system that's him on his best day, coaching him on his worst day.
That's awesome.
And he's
my
doing
worst
it.
Day.
I mean, think about it, because that's
every day is my worst. No,
but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a version of us when we're killing it, and there's a version of us the other rest of the time
when we're not.
And you're pretty much doing that. And the cool thing is, what Dom's created is starting to allow you to do that locally, privately. And like, I'm looking at what you've been building here in the last, like, I don't know, 2 weeks, Dom, and I'm like, I can't. Where this thing goes when we add in NFIs, and where this thing goes in like the next 60 days, where I can finally be running all of this shit locally.
Yeah.
And I can start building out my brain, and then all of a sudden the stuff David's doing, the really crazy stuff, then we can connect these two later if you wanted to go like have like really granular kind of control. But for I think what you're solving for right now will solve for 99% of people's problems out of the gate, to at least keep them relevant and in the loop. Because when I see something like OpenAI Atlas come out, I'm like, fuck. I mean, Mike even showed yesterday all the permissions they want you to give, and it's wild. And if you please do not install this before you've read really deeply into what Atlas wants you to give you access to, right? But I think a lot of people right now
the
don't
prostate
know that they have
exam seemed a lot. The prostate exam they want you to take seemed like over the top.
It's really bad, right? So I guess what I'm saying is a lot of people don't understand there isn't options. It's like literally what Dominic already has.
Like the root level of the system.
Dude, it's crazy. And dude, like he's talking about keychain. He's talking about it wants access to everything.
It's a lot.
Do you know how many crypto people are going to get drained? It's going to be crazy. But what Dominic already has allows you to do pretty much the vast majority of what they're doing, minus like the really hardcore agent stuff they have, like right now, locally and privately. Fucking awesome. And so we're looking on the 4th, Mike. And I imagine if you come to Builders Club, you'll probably even get it earlier. But you're looking at around the 4th for you guys to launch this?
Yeah, Builders Club got it last night, I think, right, Dom?
Yeah, I packaged up an earlier version from yesterday. So this version you see is from the more advanced, but I will make sure to keep builders in the Builders Club in the loop and publish this over time again.
Amazing work, man. Amazing work. Thank you for being here. Feel free to hang out, do whatever you feel like doing, Dom. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. Now, I should also say this. Felix looks really spooky right now because he can't figure out how to get the lights on. So like he's not trying to he's not doing like a Halloween show.
I mean, it's almost Halloween. Server. You know,
exactly.
We're seasonally appropriate.
So I love it. All right, so let me set this up a little bit. All right, so we have staking.
It does look spooky. Like he's
I know.
Season right there.
He looks spooky. So it's better to just address that and dismiss it, right? So if you're wondering, he's like, okay, so. It's the 23rd is when this is coming out. So this is tomorrow. Again, we're shooting the show early because all of us are literally be traveling. But we have the staking stuff. And then as of November 1st, you're going to start earning app token. And so why is app token important? App token is important because you're going to get access to all the stuff we're doing. And so the one that I'm most excited about, the one that's like really like getting going is called Win. And so today we have our friend Von Doom on to start talking about what he's building with Win. And so I will put this up here just so we can have this as talking points, because like and this is really for anybody. So I'm not saying like Von Doom doesn't need to do all the talking here, like, because we've all been kind of working on this together. And so anybody can kind of, join in here. But where's my, here it is. So let's talk about Win. This is one of my favorite things here. This is Win the Tiger, who's going to be kind of the mascot for all things Win here. But I don't know. You want to kick off so Win is a revenue generating contest protocol. Doom, what does that mean?
I mean, think of it as DraftKings for video games.
Right? DraftKings for video games. Okay. Unpack that a little bit.
Every game has stakes, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay, so I love that every game has stakes stuff because, dude, I was telling you this, that the boys have been doing fantasy football, and, they weren't really into football, but now they're like fanatics because they're like, oh, the Houston game is on at this time because I have this running back, and once they add it, and so what they did was them and all their cousins. A little bit
more attentive when there's money involved, right?
Oh, it's crazy, dude. They all threw, I think, $10 in. So at the end of fantasy football, between them and all their cousins, somebody's going to win $60. And just by adding in that $10 worth of stakes, it completely changed the way they interacted with football. Now they know everything about it, right?
Yeah, you can do that. You do that with anything. You do that with beer pong. You do that with pool.
Yeah, exactly.
Any game, everybody's going to get a little bit more hyped up because there's money.
Plays a round of poker with their friends without putting any money in.
Exactly. Or even when you put chocolate chips on the line or whatever, it makes it more fun.
You gotta have something on the line. If nothing's on the line, people are not engaged.
Yep, exactly. Mike, do you want to talk about this stuff at all? So we got 3 billion people playing games every day. Publishers are fighting uphill battles to reach them. What problem does this solve, you guys?
Well, Doom knows this problem better than anybody as a video game publisher. What's happening there? I mean, you got the biggest entertainment source there is in the world, but publishers are having trouble right now. What's happening?
I mean, it's hard for them to make money. It's hard for them to retain.
Will you explain that?
It's hard for them to retain an audience, first of all, or attain an audience, let alone retain an audience. And then making money on top of it it's limited to a few different verticals, and this adds a layer that, as far as we've seen, has never been added before. The idea of taking any game and adding a layer of stakes to it, that kind of changes the paradigm, I think, for a lot of, especially independent publishers.
Yeah, because I imagine breaking through is super hard, dude. I mean, you've been working with, I don't know who you're allowed to talk about that you're working with, but
look, we've published a lot on Fortnite. We published, with Yuga on Other Side. We're working on a bunch of Telegram stuff, so it's a process. I
mean, weren't you for Unreal Engine? Weren't you one of the first people that even had access to it in North America or something like that?
We were the first Unreal Engine enterprise partner when we solely focused on enterprise work. So we worked on everything from the interiors of $100 million private jets to huge legacy projects in Saudi Arabia, to Win Encore in Boston, to Hard Rock Hollywood Hotel, to a bunch of different automotive stuff.
Yeah,
consumer products. So 300.
You've been in this
projects.
A long time.
Yeah, we've been in this for 12 years.
When I was in your office, you had interiors of jets that you guys designed and crazy stuff.
Yeah, we had to have guys go through varied levels of security clearances, and then basically take our conference room and make it into a lockdown facility, because the materials we had, our guys were working on air gap laptops. Yeah, and they were stored in a very heavy gun safe, and we're on the second floor of a building, so that was fun to get that up the stairs. Yeah, we've been through all of that, and to pivot to video games has been great because it doesn't involve a lot of those layers, but it's also kind of what our whole team has wanted to do their whole lives.
That's awesome.
They didn't go to school to make interiors of, they want to make games. Buildings. They wanted to make games.
Once you make games, I remember you were up here, you were in town going to a big conference.
Yeah, Unreal Fest.
The Unreal Fest, and I remember you were talking about how hard it is to get a game to break through. Like there's so much noise out there, and it costs so much money.
For Fortnite, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Literally, like we had one with.
Can you talk about any of the imprints you've worked on with Fortnite?
Yeah, I mean
Can you talk about like the Ninja Turtles one or anything like that?
Our Ninja Turtles game actually has been consistently the best game for Fortnite that we've done in terms of audience engagement, stickiness, and continual players.
But mostly, I just want people to understand, like, those are the types of labels that you're types of brands you're working with.
The big one that we did, well, anybody could work on a Ninja Turtles game. It's like basically, I mean, I'm going to use open source as a theoretical term here, but it's not like literally open source. But what Fortnite's done is they have a deal with Paramount that gives developers access to the Ninja Turtles IP, right? So we just built a dope Ninja Turtles game. That's one of the things that we wanted.
Oh, gotcha!
To do.
I didn't know.
The one that we built that was with, you know, a large footwear company and a basketball player was the Puma LaMelo ball game.
Yeah.
I mean, LaMelo's got the second highest grossing basketball shoe in the world.
Yeah, wild. And so they bring you in to do stuff like that. And so, but you were telling me the big problem here is you're like, we can make the best game in the world, but if you can't get eyeballs on it, like if you can't get people, if people can't find it, right? And so what you're solving for is like, let's say you're a struggling game right now and you know it's a good game, but you're like, how do I get people coming back? Well, as soon as they add in the stakes layer, now all of a sudden our players can find them and go play their game, because now in essence, they can put up win tokens, either PvP, like, hey, Jesse versus Doom in this game, whoever wins, like our Oracle in essence settles that for them. Or you can even do things like, let's say it's Angry Birds and hey, the top 10 players this week are all going to get, you know, payments and win. And so by adding in this win layer to it, you're helping games be more sticky, because more than likely people are going to play longer, come back more, discover your games. And all they have to do in essence is like add in this win layer, because you look at some of these stats are insane. Like retention is collapsing. Games lose 80% of new players in 7 days. So how do you get a game loop going if somebody comes and plays a game once and leaves? Well, once you add stakes, we're guessing that people are going to come back and play more, right, and engage at a deeper level because of that. Is that safe to say?
100%.
Okay, so this, we talk about win turns every match into a verifiable contest with instant trust minimized payouts. You know, and in here you talk about like prediction markets and contests are everywhere except the largest consumer channel. Like, why don't you think this has kind of come? I mean, we've seen obviously prediction markets are eating the world. You know, then you have DraftKings, all those guys. Why do you think we haven't seen this in video games yet?
I mean, there's been a few attempts, and they've all failed for various reasons, mainly around the team implementing it. I don't want to. Shit on people, but you know, if anybody does any research, they could figure out why pretty quick. So this has been, you know, on one end, it's a bit of a new idea and a new spin on a couple other ideas that, in our opinion, collectively just weren't properly implemented.
Yeah.
You know, if they were properly implemented, we wouldn't be doing this. You know, this is one of those things where there's a certain beauty in simplicity, right? And when you have an idea that's so obvious, sometimes those are the hardest ones to come up with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
It's like, oh, that was right in front of my face.
And the way you're approaching it too, obviously from a Web3 perspective, first and foremost, and the partners you have, which I know we can't really talk about all the partners you have already, but you've kind of got it for the main players in our space. You kind of already have all those relationships.
Yeah, we have great relationships across the board with anyone and everyone you'd want a great relationship with. We're fortunate in that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so it's like, I don't know, anything I'm missing here, Mike or Felix? You guys want to jump in? I don't want to bogart the whole thing.
I just love when you can say something like that and it's true, right? Like I went to, you talked about coming to Seattle for Unreal Fest, and like I was there having drinks when people from Unreal and from Fortnite were coming up to Von Doom like, hey Von Doom, how you doing? Like, and they understood him, his team, what was going on.
It's like that happens no matter where you go with him.
I've led a few lives just because I'm so old.
I went to like a brewery with Von Doom and people knew he was there. It's like crazy. He's a social butterfly.
We got invited to an after party where we got to go to like an old PBS studio that was like defunct. and we got to have a party inside of like an old film studio, and like we got to have races around their office floor in their office chairs. It was amazing. Like that's the kind of guy Doom is if you hang out with him.
That was hysterical. That was a late night.
Yeah.
That's right. Felix, anything you want? I just know that Felix, you've been kind of also deep in this stuff. Anything we're missing here?
I think you guys hit all the high levels. The big one is there's big partners involved, which is great. But this thing can scale. Like, firstly, I get really excited because gaming, especially video games, fastest growing sport in the world. And that's from people playing it to people consuming it and watching it. And you see influencers and like well-known people online that call out PvP battles against other streamers and video gamers and all that kind of stuff. And there's been wagers placed where they get escrowed in just some mutual person, and it adds stakes and adds hype, and it gets a lot of viewers around it because there's real money on the line and reputation. There's a way, like with this, not only can you be wagering, tokens and stuff like that, but you can have leaderboards and reputation points, and there's so many different ways that this thing can scale. And there's overall ones, like you look at the Steam, games launchpad, and how they've got a bunch of stuff like from leaderboards and ranks and badges and all things like that. So you can have it for unique games, you can have it across the whole ecosystem, but it's also like, I'm a huge fan of finding everybody wins solutions.
Yeah.
And the idea of the platform benefiting, but the actual game developers winning as well, because it creates another revenue source for a game developer. So if they put a popular game onto the platform, they get a chunk of the revenue out of it as well. So these games that are struggling to make money, even though they're really good games, they may have a really good core group of people, but they just they haven't been able to scale it to tens of thousands of users. But there's like a micro community that's just, and there's a bunch of games like this that have 5,000 to 10,000 players that get on regularly. Like that can actually become a thriving business.
Yep,
if people are like putting stakes and wages and stuff like that on there.
That's right.
So it brings another layer.
The pitch. That's right. Here's the pitch. You have a game. Yeah, give us 30 days to implement the gaming stakes layer, and you have an entire new stream of revenue. Well,
yeah,
what gaming company doesn't
this,
want
unlimited level of flexibility to wrap into any kind of game title and just make it more sticky and interesting?
That's right.
And add a revenue layer that wasn't there before it was implemented.
Well, and for you as somebody who runs a gaming studio, what game doesn't want, hey, literally come in, we're going to add some UX stuff, call it a 30-day setup max, right? Mm-hmm. And you have a whole new stream of revenue. And by the way, we're going to start, you have a whole new stream of customers.
Yeah.
And you get a rake
because we're going to
from
plug
everyone
you into this ecosystem that is surrounded by this token.
That's right. Exactly.
Right, with rewards and points.
Because on a daily basis, when you go to the website, you'd be like, hey, this new game was added. Now you can go play this game, and you can add the win token. So this is the last slide I'm going to show, because I know that we're over time and all that kind of stuff. But like this game loop, it's really like, so you have stake, play, verify, settle. But when you settle, you also are giving them the ability for them to share externally, almost like flex, like, hey, I won, which leads people back into the loop. So you have a skills loop and a status loop, both happening in this ecosystem. And it's benefiting, obviously, the players, right? Because there's more and more people that they can kind of play against, right? But it's also benefiting the games. And it's kind of interesting because we're almost bringing in this like stakes layer to any game. We're starting with some really well-known ecosystems that are literally household brands that we can't talk about yet that are going to be doing this stuff. But just at a high level, I mean, I'm super excited about what you're building, Doom. I think that it's like the more that you kind of talked it out and showed us, it became one of those things where like, I think I was talking to Felix, and this was a couple months ago or something, like when I finally got it. Cause I think you were there, we were on a call and we were talking about AI stuff, and you're like, no, dude, it's like bigger than that. You're like, it's like the whole layer. And I was like, oh, and I think the next time we came back, I told you, I was like, oh, I get it now. I didn't realize how big of an idea this was. I thought it was
like a foundational picks and shovel play.
Yes, that's right.
Every publisher, and the consistent theory that I truly believe will be proven as reality within a year or two tops is there's going to be countless independent publishers using AI to build dope
Yeah,
shit.
that's right.
It's just going to be face meltingly crazy and fun.
And you already solved for most of them. The hardest part is how do I monetize? For these new games, it's like, well, you can start by just always add and win, and day one you'll have a monetization strategy.
Money that day.
Let's go.
Like there'll be free, like from a user perspective. Touching back on the everybody wins, if you have revenue sources from the cohort that places stakes, because a lot of these games are going to be free to play as well. It means that like you won't have a cost necessarily for every single game. So you'll have users that can play games for free. So you get free entertainment, leisure, blah, blah, blah. And it's subsidized by those that want to actually stake money that pay back to the game shop. So these games, these little boutique games and vibe coded games and stuff like that get traction and virality can launch without having to try to figure out how do I charge people. It's like when YouTube opened up for creatives to create videos and they ended up monetizing with ads on the side. It's like I don't have to find sponsors. I can just put content out there. I can just create.
I can just create cool stuff. And
yeah, that's right.
Will, ideally find it and love it. I mean, and this also like this. You mentioned ads. This also takes away the need for publishers to shove a bunch of ads in there.
Yes, exactly. It's a better experience, and then the people that love the game can go deeper. It's like, okay, cool. It's also kind of fun too to just somebody's talking shit about a game, and you're like, I'll take that. All right, let's do it. Like, Dude, show me what you got.
I remember back in the day, Diablo 2. It was like I was deep into that, and if you were legit, you played hardcore mode, which meant that if you died, your character was wiped, and you need hundreds of hours of your character. And it was like that was it. And this is dial-up internet where like you could have a storm that evening, and it all goes bad. But like that was like you needed stakes on the line in order to be considered like a legit player.
It made that game a lot more real on hardcore.
Oh yeah, right? Dude, totally. For sure.
And they were real teenage tears cried when their characters died.
Yeah, definitely, dude. It's like Dungeons and Dragons. If you actually lose your character and you're like, I've had that character for 6 years.
Yeah. That's like a part of you just went away. It's crazy.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, I know we're at time. Doom, thank you for being here. I will literally. Yeah. By the time people are seeing this, we'll be hanging out. I'm excited about that.
That's right.
Felix, thanks for joining us. Mike, Vegas, baby. Let's go Ape Fest. Big week coming up again. For folks that have any questions, I'm sure Felix, you'll be in the Discord for all the staking stuff that people can ask questions around that. Mike, what you and like Believins are doing is crazy. I mean, dude, like knowing that we're gonna have that in people's hands by the 4th of November, and if you're in the Builders Club, you already have it in your hands, and you can finally run local AI privately. Chef's kiss. Way to go on that. And Von Doom, as always, it's good to see you, sir. Thanks for being here, everybody, and we will do this again soon.
See you in Vegas.
Yeah.
See you in Vegas. Peace.